Good morning, traders. Welcome to StockCast. My name is Todd Derby, along with my co-host James Mason, where our goal is to bring you insights and ideas every day in your daily trading activities. Happy holidays, James. We've been back after a week. How are you doing?
Todd, I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing well. Came back from a little vacay with picked up a little frog, a little cough. It's not COVID. We went and had that tested, but it's got a little squeaky voice this morning.
Somebody's hitting puberty.
Yeah. Yes.
All right. So we hope everybody had a great and wonderful Christmas. And, if you're one of the many haters out there watching today, I hope your Christmas sucked. So as I hold up this little cup that my wife put in here, and it says,
be kind.
Be kind, yeah.
Be kind.
There. So
she goes, James, you can use this.
No.
And you're drinking it going, oh, I do like the hot chocolate. And she's like, no, the sticker on the cup.
All right, let's go ahead and get into it. All right. So, Todd, what do we have today?
Well, real quick, before we got two tickers we want to talk about, but talk about, is the Santa Claus rally real? And they talk about how the last 5 days of the trading session of the year, and the first two, that 7-day period, the S&P has a track record of being an indicator of what's coming this forthcoming year. And yesterday we hit all-time highs again. So is it real?
Man, nothing with this market is real. It's just one big old mirage of whatever they want it to do. It's basically going to do the opposite of what you want it to do. That is for sure. So let me go and share my screen. All right. So if y'all can remember over like the last few months, where literally I was like, doom and gloom. And then, me saying, if it breaks back above these levels, and there's going to be another little rally. And sure enough, then come back up here. Then, doom and gloom. And then if it comes back up here, another rally. And, here we are. There's absolutely no reason for this crap whatsoever. Absolutely no freaking reason. But, hey, I guess if this is what you call tapering on the quantitative easing, then whatever. Which we all know that's a bunch of BS. The Fed is not tapering. This is not tapering at all, because the market would not look like this. The market would we would just flip this chart upside down, and that's what the market should look like. So while our government misleads us again, at the end of the day, we have no choice but to go off of what the chart says, because the chart is always right, no matter what. So here we are. Not only are we having this little bullish little spike, but man, we've came from the bottom of the Bollinger Band lines all the way up to the top, pushing through the top on the daily Bollinger Band lines, and it's just ridiculous. But when something pushes up, when something makes a move like this across the entire chart, especially on a daily chart, and it goes up from the bottom of the Bollinger Bands all the way up to the top of the Bollinger Bands, and it's trying to push through, it usually starts to catch strong resistance right there. And it creates a lot of choppiness, and then will usually pull back pretty sharply. So until we start to get a setup on the daily chart here with the S&P 500, we're just going to have to sit back and wait. We're going to have to see what January brings us, because at some point, they have to let the air out, even though that they already started saying that they are letting the air out. The charts don't lie. They have not let the air out at all. So that's just a quick rundown of the overall market. But let's go ahead and get into it. Todd?
Ticker KNDI. KNDI.
All right.
Candy Technologies. It's up 61 cents, 60 cents, up 17, 18% this morning.
All right. So ticker KNDY. If you've been around here for a while, you know I haven't spoken about this in months, but we know that months ago I've been saying that this is one to watch out for. And they have 77 point, we'll just round it up to 77.4 million shares outstanding. Let's see what else. Almost 14% of the float is short. Days of cover 7.2. So that's one of the reasons why we're getting this decent pop. We do have a lot of bears covering. So let's start off with the daily chart. So we see the strong downtrend right here. We're going to go ahead and chart this out. So that will be enough lines right there. All right. So you guys can't see it, but this little line right here, I mean, I'll actually turn it into a blue line. Hold on for y'all. All right, so this blue line right here, this is where we're at pre-market. You can see how much we've gapped up since yesterday, since the close. And like I've always said, guys, when you have this steep downtrend, and this is a steep downtrend, you're going to have a lot of bag holders right here, especially these guys who bought in on this day when they thought this thing was probably going to the moon. Up here at the top around 520. And here we are in the low threes. All of these people are going to be begging to get the heck out. This is a perfect bearish setup. And I do expect this thing to print off a red daily candle. So if you jump into this one, this is only a day trade. Just be careful, guys. I don't foresee this one running into the days to come until we pull back, get some consolidation. I would like to see what it does if it comes back down to about 375. I would like to see if it consolidates in this range somewhere over the days to come. If it consolidates, and I'll draw this out. So if it consolidates, what I like to see is for it to come down like this. Imagine that this line I'm drawing is just the flow of the daily candles, and it just kind of consolidate like this, find its support, and then, whatever it's going to do right here, and then slowly, break up and go up like that. That's what I'm looking for to swing this. So I need to see this thing pull back, consolidate on the daily chart, wherever that support is going to be at. And that's when I'll start to take a smaller position just to have a foothold. And then I'll wait until it breaks the high of whatever today is pre-market. I haven't looked. Todd, what was the pre-market high?
Pre-market high right now is $4.05.
All right. So when it comes down to consolidate like this, I'll take a small position, just have a foothold. And then I'll wait for it to bounce and go back up later, break above that pre-market high of today. So break above 405. And then that's when I'll actually add on to that position and let it ride. That way I'll have, in theory, I can't speak in the absolute, but in theory, if this worked out like this, I'd have, just a small amount of shares right here, but that little bit of profit would kind of give me a little bit of a cushion for if and when this happens, just to ride that momentum out into the future. Now, delete that. All right, so let me delete this line also. All right. Now, the news on Candy, they announced that they had a successful mass production of their leading LFP battery. We all know that the EV market is the future. So these guys these guys potentially could be a significant player in it. And just like with anyone else in the EV market, since the market is still rather young, everybody still is trying to get their crap together in life. So don't count these guys out. I love their share structure. They have had some nice run-ups in the past. Now, I'm not saying, that we'll test those highs, but I do fully believe that at these, PPS values right here, that we can make a decent profit going into the future. We just can't get caught up in whatever today is going to do. Excuse me, guys. All right. So here we are in the 5-minute chart. You can see that we're starting to pull back right here at the moment. On the 5-minute chart, I expect it, and this is for the day trade part of it, guys. On the 5-minute chart, I expect it to pull back, consolidate, and when the market opens, live market opens, I expect there to be a bounce. And that bounce, that's where you don't need to get caught up in that. If you're at work, this is not for you. Really, day trading is not for you. And I'm not saying that to be mean. It's just you have to dedicate so much time to day trading. And if you're at work, you really can't sit there and focus and look at your phone, while you're trying to do other stuff. So for the day traders, you guys know what's up. We're going to wait for this thing to do whatever it's going to do, see if it consolidates, maybe take a small position, maybe not. It's hard to tell. But I will tell you that the bears are going to be all over this. Todd, do you know how much short locates are?
Yeah, I can look up, see a center point. Okay. They're 0. They're readily available.
Well,
easy to borrow.
Yeah, so there's an abundance to short this thing.
Yes.
So, yeah, guys, with there being an abundance to short this thing and how much it's already up, man, the bears are going to be all over this. Just be careful, guys. So there will be opportunity here for quick scalps. I just wouldn't expect it to create some home run play today. If we do get a bounce at the bell, I'm not even sure if it's going to test pre-market highs. This thing could become a fader. Just keep that in mind. So the first thing we need to see is legitimate consolidation on this 5-minute chart. And I don't know if that's going to be at 375 or if it's going to come down here around this 365 to the lower 350 range. I mean, it possibly could happen off that middle Bollinger Band line. We won't know until it happens. So this is probably one of those plays. And again, when I say scalping, truly scalping. This is one of those plays that if we find that consolidation, I'll probably just be looking to take 10 to 15 cents per share of profit. And that's it. I'm not looking for any home runs here. Now, maybe in the future, not necessarily a home run, but like I was talking about with the swing trade, we need to see what it does on a daily chart. And, guys, you don't have to get into this today. I'm talking about we can wait until like next week just to see what this has done. But if we do pull back pretty decent today on the daily chart and start consolidate over the days to come, that's when I'll approach this from like a swing trading perspective and then do what I was saying earlier. So this is my rundown on ticker KNDI.
All right. The second ticker we were talking about this morning was Reliance Global Group, RELI.
All right. So for ticker RELI, shares outstanding, we'll round it up to 11 million shares outstanding. Short interest, short percent on the float, 126%. But I don't go off the float. Let me see if there's any news. Okay, so there's a couple pieces of news for a $20 million private placement from an institution, and it's like they acquired another company. over like last week. So looking at this from a technical analysis perspective, obviously we see this gap up right here. We see a lot of these people who are upside down, and this one is actually going to trip a lot of people up today. So on this daily chart, we can see this first day when it really gapped up. It went up to 825 in this little dash line that you probably cannot see. We're currently at 712. Pre-market high was 752. Let me draw a line there. Come on. All right. So there we have that pre-market high. Now, a lot of people are going to try to jump into this thing right now, and they're going to more likely get smoked. And a lot of these bulls over here who were holding bags when this thing pulled back literally 100, I mean, not 100%, when it pulled back 50%, they're going to hold on hope because they really hadn't been upside down but for a few days. They're going to hold on hope in round 2, and then they're probably not going to get a round 3. So the smarter ones are going to be getting the hell out. This is another bearish setup right here. The news overall is not strong, but there is only 11 million shares, and that's why this is making this move. That's the only reason why this is making this move, is just the low amount of shares available on the market. So all these guys right here, the smart ones, are going to be looking to get out. We got new people who are going to try to jump in. And when they get upside down, they're going to start to look to get out. And that's what's going to start to beat this stock down right here. Now, I'm not saying in the future that this thing will just pull completely down and just die off. It will probably, come down, chop around, do whatever it's going to do, hang out in this area, and then maybe die off in the future. I don't know. They could also release the news later on and it make a move off of that. But based off of what we know now, this is the only thing we can go off of. So at that 752 range, we already cut that resistance. We need to see what it's going to do at the bell. Since we're not too far from that pre-market high and this close to the bell, I'm kind of expecting that we do bounce somewhere right in here, test this pre-market high, maybe break above it. And then after the market does whatever it's going to do, I believe there's going to be a tipping point. Now, we do have to remember, whether you're going to be long or short here, guys, there's money to be made on both sides. But whether you're going to be long or short here in this trade, you need to understand that you must wait for the setup. If you're going to be long and you're trying to catch it off this bounce, you can't be focusing off trying to take this thing to the moon. You have to make your money and get out. Now, we could have halts take place that cause this thing to gap up, but at the same time, those halts could cause this thing to gap down. Now, for the bearish side, guys, we have to wait to see what this is going to do in the live market by pushing up here. And when all the FOMO traders get wore out, whether it's going to be just not enough interest in the market or just getting beat down at certain resistances, we need to see that thing set up, start to curl over, but we need to watch that volume. Once the volume starts to really die off on that 5-minute chart, it's game time on the bear side.
There's no short locates available on Rally. So they were available, they're gone, and they're gone at Center Point and a couple other places. So this could get a squeeze. Also, could have a little spike, but I think the shorts that are sitting on it are probably looking for a breakover. They're definitely looking for a breakout, to test a pre-market high. But the all-time high is around $11, I think.
Was that again? Thought that last part.
I think the all-time high is around $11.
Yeah, let's see. Well, that funky split back at the beginning of February, where they did a 11 to 1,000 split.
That's weird.
Yeah, kind of hard to do that math off the top of my head.
Yeah, I need a split calculator.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think the shorts are looking to pile in with your thesis is they're looking for a little bit of a spike this morning before they pile in.
Yeah, so let's take a quick look at the comments, see what we got going on.
We're about 5 minutes from the start of the market, please.
All right, so let's go ahead and we'll wrap the show up for today right there. So we're not getting into too much other stuff, and we can get today going. So, all right, guys, we appreciate y'all tuning in today. We hope everybody had a safe and happy holiday, and we will catch y'all in the next one.
Good night.